What's the biggest secret you're currently hiding? For this mother-in-law, it isn't something dramatic or dangerous. It's actually something incredibly sweet. She has a little habit that her daughter-in-law has no idea about. Every once in a while, after talking to her daughter-in-law on the phone, she pretends she forgot to hang up. Then, she walks over to her husband and starts talking about her. But she doesn't gossip. She does the exact opposite. She tells her husband how wonderful their daughter-in-law is. She talks about how much she loves her personality, how proud she is of her, and how grateful she is that their son chose her. And she makes sure her daughter-in-law can hear every word. But why? Because she knows something about her daughter-in-law's family. Her daughter-in-law didn't grow up surrounded by people who constantly encouraged her. Instead, she had experienced the opposite: criticism, negativity, and people who made her question her own worth. So this mother-in-law realized something simple. Sometimes, one sincere compliment can mean much more to someone than you realize. The funny part is that her daughter-in-law doesn't know any of this is intentional. She thinks her mother-in-law is simply getting older and becoming terrible at using her phone. But there was one time when the accidental phone call really did happen. A few months earlier, the mother-in-law had accidentally called her daughter-in-law while she was talking to her husband. She didn't realize the call was still connected. Her daughter-in-law could hear everything. And apparently, she stayed quiet. She was expecting to hear something negative. Why? Because that's what she had grown accustomed to hearing from her own family. She probably expected criticism, maybe complaints, maybe something she could take personally. Instead, she heard her mother-in-law saying the complete opposite. She heard her talking about how much she loved her, how happy she was that their son had chosen her, how wonderful she thought she was. And those words completely broke her, but not in a bad way. She started crying, not just a few quiet tears. She broke down completely. She was crying so hard that she couldn't even hide it. The mother-in-law eventually realized what had happened. And then her son explained just how much those words had meant to his wife. Apparently, hearing those genuine compliments gave her a huge confidence boost. And it didn't disappear after one day. It stayed with her for weeks. Think about that for a moment. Something that took only a few minutes for this mother-in-law to say had such a powerful effect on another person's life. That's when she realized she should probably keep doing it. So now, she intentionally forgets to hang up every once in a while. She talks to her husband about how amazing her daughter-in-law is. She reminds him how lucky their family is to have her. And she makes sure those words somehow reach the person who needs to hear them. The daughter-in-law still has absolutely no idea. As far as she knows, her mother-in-law is simply getting older and becoming less careful with technology. And honestly, that's probably the perfect cover. Because sometimes the kindest things we do are the things we never take credit for. She could have directly told her daughter-in-law, "You're wonderful." But instead, she created a moment where her daughter-in-law could hear those words without feeling like they were being said just to make her feel better. She got to hear what someone truly thought of her when they didn't think she was listening. And maybe that's why it meant so much. Because when someone has spent years hearing criticism, they can become suspicious of compliments. But overhearing someone genuinely praise you, that feels different. It feels real. So her little secret isn't really about forgetting to hang up the phone. It's about quietly giving someone the love and encouragement they should have received all along. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can stay with someone for years. You never really know how much someone needs to hear that they're loved, appreciated, and enough.